Continuing our look at the race for Clark County Commission, today we're focusing on District F, and the incumbent is Commissioner Justin Jones. Commissioner Jones, good to see you, sir.
Good to see you too.
All right, so we're going to talk about some of the issues of the campaign and some of the issues in the district in a moment, but first I want to talk about some issues happening in the news right now. A couple of things I actually spoke with your colleague Commissioner Segerblom about a couple of weeks ago. Public Administrator Rob Tellis, now accused of murder, as we know. What did you as Commissioner know leading up to this alleged murder? What did commissioners know about the allegations and the concerns from people in Mr. Tellis's office ahead of time?
Well, I would say before the primary election, there were some concerns that were raised at the time. It's always challenging when they're coming really from a political opponent within the office. It's a little bit harder to judge what the motivations are. So we were aware with the Review Journal story and some of the other allegations that came up there. And that's why we had Mike Murphy, who was our formerly with Clark County, come in to the office and really take over running the operations to make sure that the employees in that office felt like they were being treated fairly and there wasn't political games going on.
Why didn't commissioners do more? There have been some suggestions that commissioners, while they, yes, appointed Mr. Murphy to and heard the concerns, there wasn't enough of an aggressive or intentional response to try and really do something about this.
Well, I think it's easy to hindsight's 2020 when there's a murder involved, right? I don't think that under the circumstances at the time there was enough information beyond some complaints. We addressed those complaints. Unfortunately, obviously, for a reporter, that led to a murder, which is obviously tragic and certainly not in line with what was expected.
And when you say address the concern, are you talking about appointing Mike Murphy to the office?
Yes, I think that was the whole point. Mike was with the county for decades, right, and was very well respected in the community.
Final question on this. Commissioner Segerblom suggested removing the public administrator's office and some of the other sort of down ballot offices, removing them from the ballot. Do you support that idea?
I think that it's something we should look at. I don't know that there's any particular reason why the voters should be able to decide some of these down ballot races that really aren't political in the first place. So I think that's something that certainly the legislature will take a look at.
All right, so let's get to the campaign itself here. You're running for re-election. What does District F, your district, need that hasn't been achieved in the last 4 years?
Well, you know, it's been an interesting 4 years, John. We had a lot of goals for District F and for the county more generally, and then COVID hit us. And so we had to really focus all of our attention on making sure that we protected people's health and well-being and did everything we could in order to reinvigorate the economy. And so that's what we did. We spent a lot of time and effort on COVID, and you've seen the economy come roaring back. We spent a lot of time and effort and frankly money in supporting small business owners who were really struggling through the pandemic, but also coming out of the pandemic to make sure that they were able to keep their doors open and expand their operations.
Your opponent, I should say, in this race has criticized, and others have as well, not just your votes, but the votes of the entire commission with regards to the coronavirus restrictions, the mandates shutting down the Strip, the effects on small business, and then subsequently the money that is poured in and has been allocated by the county and elsewhere. Has the money gone to the right place to help these small businesses?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that it's proven that for the small business owners, certainly in my district and across the county, this has kept them able to have their doors open or to reopen their doors after the pandemic. And so I think definitely the money went to the right place and is continuing to help them. We've got our small business grant program that's going to get back up and running now for those that want to expand their operations. We know everyone's struggling to hire right now, and so we want to make sure that there are opportunities for these small business owners to create new jobs for people here in southern Nevada.
Your opponent also suggests that broadly in Clark County there's a lot of money being wasted. There isn't enough watching of the money being spent, keeping an eye on where the taxpayers' money is going. Are you confident that the contracts that are signed, this is kind of a broad question, I realize, but do you think that the taxpayers are being well served by you and the other commissioners with their money?
I think absolutely. Our CFO is one of the, frankly, most conservative CFOs out there. Pre-pandemic, we were in the strongest financial situation of any local jurisdiction, and we continue to be so. There's a reason why our bond ratings are at the top of every jurisdiction in the state of Nevada. We are fiscally conservative. We make sure that we spend every dollar in the right way, and if any issues come up, we go audit those expenditures, and we've clawed back money when we found that there were issues out there, even from nonprofits.
One of an issue that you have close to your heart is the issue of Red Rock and protection of Red Rock, both as county commissioner and beforehand as well. Talk about some of the efforts that you have taken to try and protect Red Rock, but also increase access to it.
Sure, absolutely. As a lot of the viewers might know, there's been a big battle between a developer and Clark County over the last 20 years. The original proposal from the developer was for more than 5,000 homes, and the county commission in 2019 had denied the request from the developer to waive a condition that related to the road. The developer finally, after 20 years, came in with a proposal that was within the density that was permitted up there when he bought it. And so that was the subject of a recent vote on the county commission.
Well, it's also the subject of litigation that you're involved in as well.
Absolutely.
Your opponent is accusing you of being corrupt. There's allegations of conflict of interest that you voted on this, even though before you were on the commission, as an attorney, you were involved in this case. Allegations of records being deleted, public records being deleted. How do you respond to these accusations?
Well, sure. I think I've responded publicly to these accusations before with regards to the vote and the allegations that I was conflicted out. That's why I affirmatively went to the Nevada Commission on Ethics, laid everything out to them before that vote, and they said that I was required to disclose my prior affiliation with a nonprofit, Save Red Rock, but that I was not only allowed to vote, but that was my obligation on behalf of the voters who elected me to participate in those kinds of discussions.
Is every public record that came from your office regarding this development with Mr. Rhodes and that development, is every public record still accounted for?
As far as I know.
Okay. Let's move on to another aspect of sort of broadly Clark County. We were talking before about business recovery. What can be done in the next 4 years if you're reelected to try and help get businesses back on their feet? Because a lot of them are still struggling. And if you look at sort of the recovery of the economy in Southern Nevada, there's no doubt there is a recovery, but it might be behind the curve of a lot of other parts in the country.
Sure. So I sit on the Economic Development Authority, and as part of the LVGA, we are really focusing on not only bringing in new jobs into our community here. We've talked about economic diversification in Nevada for decades now. We don't ever seem to do it. When times are good, we think, great, the Strip is going to pay for everything. And I think for the first time, we're really focusing on not just jobs, but on jobs that matter in manufacturing and technology. And so we are fostering those opportunities with our Director of Community and Economic Development at the county, something that we didn't have before and that I'm very proud of having worked on at the Clark County. And as part of that, we're supporting those small business owners. We're expanding our redevelopment agency. We're investing back into those parts of the community that have really faced challenges over the years, and we want to make sure that we foster areas like mine out in the southwest part of town, where you'll see our state bird, the crane, all over on the curve out there. But we want to make sure in the older parts of town that we're really investing in those areas too.
So if you are reelected, first county commission meeting, first day on the job in January 2023, what's the first thing you really want to try and tackle?
Well, I think economic development is definitely top of my priority list. Affordable housing, I think we've already taken the first important steps in funding a lot of those priorities. So I'll be focusing on broadening our economic base, bringing new jobs to Nevada so that we can continue the economic uptide here.
All right. Commissioner Justin Jones running for re-election in District F. Appreciate the time, sir. Thank you very much and good luck.
Thanks, John.